Okay guys, so in today's video I'm going to go over why I don't think you should ever move your stop loss. Whether it be into profit or to break even, so you're then risking either no risk on the trade, or the worst case scenario is you're making profit. Obviously people see this, when I first started trading I was like, okay, if I can make the trade risk free, if I can make it so worst case scenario I make 2%, then this could be beneficial to my trading. But now, I've collected a lot of data, I've traded a lot for the last 3 years. I've now completely eliminated this from my trading plan. I'll never move my stop loss to break even. The only scenario that I'll do this is if I'm in profit before a news event. And this is because obviously I don't want to get slipped to my stop loss. It's bad enough if you get slipped with it break even, but let's say you have a full stop loss hit. With slippage you can lose 2-3%, only risking 1%. Especially with prop firms, and a lot of their spreads aren't great at all. I've completely eliminated it. My stop loss will always stay the same until I hit my take profit. The only two outcomes to my trades now are take profit or stop loss. Simple as that. Unless you get one thing when you're in profit, you have something that obviously changes the trade, maybe a breaker structure to the opposite direction, then obviously this is in your plan to close out earlier anyway. Very simple. But I like it where stop loss and take profit are the two outcomes for a single trade, because I know that exactly what's going to happen going into a trade. If this goes not how I expected it to, I lose 1%. If it wins, I make 3% and 4% profit. Simple as that. The main reason why I don't do this is because of my backtesting results. All of our trading is actually based from our backtesting results. If in my testing I've noticed that, okay, I have a 70% win rate, for example, and the trades are a 1 to 3. When you're backtesting, how many times do you actually say, okay, I would move my stop loss to break even here? Never. No one ever says that. And if you do, it's a lot different when you're actually in the trade live. People say, oh yeah, I would have moved stop loss break even here, so that in their results they would have put either break even or they would have trailed their stop. But in reality, if you're in profit, would you have actually done that? If price comes back to your entry, would you just closed early instead? There's a lot of things where people actually don't mention in their backtesting, which they actually do in their forward testing. When I'm backtesting, I've noticed that, okay, if price goes into profit and then it reverses back, I just hold the trade anyway. To stop loss or take profit, simple as that. Why, if I was doing that in backtesting, would I then in live forward testing or live trading move my stop loss to break even or even move it into profit? It just doesn't really make sense to do. That's one of the reasons, but the main reason is overall the money you're actually losing. I know it sounds stupid, because technically if you're moving your stop loss into profit each time, then you're kind of eliminating that risk of having a loss. But let me explain to you guys. So if we go over onto the charts, you guys can see, let's say we were buying at this area here, and our target was let's just say it was a 1 to 5. Just for the example, we were targeting a 1 to 5. So our entry was at this point here, and our target was this area here for a 1 to 5. Very simple. So obviously we start off the trade with the entry, 3 taps in this area, and then we go into profit. We go into profit probably almost 4% in profit. So the trade is running at a 1 to 4 risk to reward. So on a 100k account, we're up $4,000, for example. So now, if I move that stop loss to break even, worst case scenario, you lose that 4k profit. When price is here, for example, you have 1% to go to the take profit. Because you've moved your stop loss to break even, you have 4% to the break even. So technically now on this, it's now a 4 to 1. So you're risking your 4% profit, which you're actually currently, you're floating in $4,000 profit, 4% profit. You're risking that 4k to potentially make that extra 1%. So you're risking 4% to make 1%. Obviously, you only originally risked 1%, but now you're up 4%. You're now risking all that 4% profit, which you're actually in, to potentially make that 1%. If you got into a trade and someone said, okay, you're going to risk 4% to make 1%, you're obviously going to say no. So this is why I simply won't do it. Obviously, people are going to say, oh yeah, but if it goes to your stop loss now, you lose everything. or you lose all your profit anyway, and then you take an extra loss. This is true, but you have situations like this. This is a perfect example. So we got our entry, we're running 4%, move your stop loss to break even. You're now doing it at a 1 to 4, so to speak. Then price comes down, taps your entry. Your stop loss is at your entry. You've been tagged out at the entry point. There's nothing in the markets that say, I entered here at this time, so price can't come back to this entry to then go to my target. If you actually entered here, you would have been taken out at break even. Your 4% profit would have been lost just because you were trying to make that extra 1%. I would still be in the trade. I'd still be in the trade. I'd be up 4% at the moment, almost at the take profit for 5%. You'd have been taken out at break even for 0, but you felt like it was risk free. So your trading plan says the trade is invalid when price goes below this level and you anticipate price coming to this level. So price goes towards your direction, the direction which you're wanting price to go into, that you anticipated price to go into from your hours and hours, months and months of backtesting, or even years, in some cases. You're throwing that all out the window just so you can make your trade risk free. I always say to people, your stop loss is there for a reason. Your take profit is there for a reason. Why close a trade early? If you're at 1 to 4, why just close out? Just because you don't want it to hit that extra 1%. You don't want to seem too greedy. You just want to take your profit. You've made 4%. Obviously that's good. You made 4% profit. Lovely times. But if you do that every single time, over 5 trades, you've lost 5%. On a 200k account, that's 10 grand. You just lost out on 10 grand because you didn't want to be so-called greedy, even though it's part of your plan anyway to actually hold the trade. There are obviously going to be some cases where it's actually best to move your stop loss break even. So let's say this came back to the entry, moved up a little bit and then rallied through, to stop loss. A lot of people would have been like, oh yeah, well, I should have moved my stop loss break even, should have moved it into profit. But a lot of the times when people move it into profit, price just comes down, retests, they get tagged out in profit, then price goes in that direction. And then their trade which they've analyzed to go to a 1 to 5 ends up going to that 1 to 5, never hits their stop loss, but they're not even in the trade because they closed out early. They closed out at break even, they closed out before the trade actually had a chance to go to the target, and they ended up making 0 money on this trade. That is never the aim. The aim is for your target to be hit. Obviously we don't want our stop loss to be hit, but our stop loss is there for a reason. You don't think price is going to break this area, and if it does, you don't want to be in the trade because it's no longer valid. So if it hasn't broken this area, why close? Simple as that. Obviously this is my own opinion and my own trading, how I see it. There's going to be people in the comments which disagree and people that think, they're master traders, but just obviously see what works for you. This is my views, just sharing why I personally never move my stop loss break even. There's obviously going to be cases where it's best to do and everything, but that obviously depends on your strategy. And don't just blindly follow what I say because, I don't know how you trade. We might not trade the same, and that's fine. But if you guys did enjoy this little video, like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.